Drop your weapons.
Back off, Casillas. It's me, Lieutenant Merrick.
It's about time.
You're a sneaky bastard, Casillas.
This is McBain, whose throat you almost slit. And I believe you know Corporal Watts, one of your fellow spies.
We go way back. Back to the beginning of the war.
I'll need to take what reports you have at this juncture.
Relax, sir. The war's over. Gentlemen? You sure Huddleston has a place with him?
He might have them on his person. But more than likely, they're hidden on the island. Huddleston was incarcerated but escaped to Mexico. Those plates never resurfaced. Our intelligence says that he's on his way back to reclaim them.
I was briefed in Washington.
Had you been able to complete your mission 6 years ago...
I know what happened 6 years ago.
These stolen plates were a threat to our nation's economy before the war. They're even more so now. We expect you to find them.
I understand. What about the Red Earl?
The ship was seen rounding the Cape yesterday. She should be on the island by tomorrow night.
I'll be a couple hours behind you, standing offshore. We'll use the usual signaling procedure.
Enlist them when you're done. Or if you have trouble of any kind.
I always have.
It's not going to be easy. Northmore's with them.
Isn't that why I'm here, sir? Don't you worry. I'll take care of Northmore.
Robert? That was my slave name. I was free now. They calls me Owa.
Oh, my name's Frank Casillas. I don't know if you remember me.
Remember who you is. You was with Mr. Northmore that night.
Yes, I was. But I had no part in it.
We don't want you here.
I wasn't exactly planning to stay.
You ain't welcome nowhere along this shore.
There's a squall rising out there. My boat will never make it.
Me, I didn't have no boat. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you're not. That Demon Island not so far off. Nothing bother you there except maybe your conscience. You's a white man. You long there with your kind. Haunting and getting haunted. Now get.
I'm sorry about Mary. 1, 3.
Frank Casillas? What a surprise.
Northmore. I assume the two of you have been introduced properly.
Of course. Miss Clara Huddleston, may I present to you Mr. Frank Casillas? Frank and I are old West Point chums. Miss Huddleston. So tell me, Frank, what fates have brought you to the shore at this particular time?
Well, I was moving down the coastline, surveying damage for the War Department. The storm came up and my boat was destroyed. What about you? I thought you'd never wish to return to this island again.
We are waiting for our ship to be reprovisioned and then away.
Perhaps you can accommodate me.
As far as the mainland.
And you may stay with us, of course, until we depart.
Thank you, Miss Huddleston.
Father has been alone too long.
Yes, good idea, Missy. Tend your father. You know how he gets when you're not near. Look at her action. She's the only woman in the world. Whatever ill wind brought you here. Dear, dear Frank. Has been a long time, hasn't it?
6 years.
With one war between us.
And one death.
And one desertion. You left me to fend for myself, Frank.
Well, it doesn't seem as if you needed any of my help. You survived the inquest unscathed.
I cannot undo the past. God knows I wish I could. I had nothing to do with it.
I wish I could believe that.
Believe it.
Convince me.
Convince yourself. I have no such time to waste.
Philip, we were both young.
I promised myself that I would get even with you if we were ever to meet again. If anybody should have stood by me, Frank, it should have been you.
Stand back, or pay the price. Get back! Get back!
Father, it is only me and Northmore and Mr. Casillas, of whom I told you, friends all.
You... What demon is this that talks of friendship? I know what you're after. Back! Back!
Sir! Sir, you do well to protect yourself, but she's not your enemy.
You are one of them. You thought you could take me unawares. Get back!
Sir, we knew how well prepared you would be, and that's why we are here. We came here to inform you that your enemies have fled for their miserable lives, and we are grateful.
Fled, you say?
Yes, like the phantoms that they are. Sir, you look rather tired, if you don't mind me saying. Perhaps you could use a rest.
Well, yes, I am rather tired. All of a sudden. You say they've fled?
Yes.
Praise be. And who are you?
I am a friend.
Indeed.
I should have recognized from the beginning that he was a gentleman.
Yes, sir. And as a gentleman, I give you my word that all is well.
Well, thank you.
We may have need for your protection again.
Huh? We will not forget your helpfulness.
Rest now, Father. I will see to him now.
You decorating?
Yes. Thank you for noticing.
Looks like you're preparing for a siege.
A short one, perhaps, but it won't be necessary.
One might wonder then at the need for such defenses.
Have you eaten?
Not since early yesterday.
Well, I believe Aggie is preparing something for you as we speak. Aggie? You remember Mr. Casillas, don't you, Aggie?
Hello, Aggie.
Well, I'm sure she remembers you with fondness.
May I?
Please. Forgive the cuisine, Frank. Aggie is not at her best.
Perhaps you should consider letting her out of her service.
She serves freely, Frank. Or have you forgotten the recent unpleasantness that has so effectively removed me from my property? No, the Federal's experiment in redistribution has made us all Aggie's guests. Any civility on her part is displayed out of loyalty.
The old man must have made dangerous enemies.
No doubt. And we cannot leave the island presently, but when the Brother returns, we shall be off. Are you enjoying your meal, Frank?
Mr. Casillas, my father would like to speak with you upstairs.
If you'll excuse me.
I'll join you.
Father would prefer to speak to Mr. Casillas alone.
I'll join him.
Ah, Northmore. Do come in, dear Mr. Casillas. Please forgive my earlier outburst. Most embarrassing. I was not myself. Not quite yet, my dear. Not quite yet. Ah. Thank you. How they do rally about me, my daughter's friends. May God in heaven bless and reward them.
Yes, Casillas is a useful man. Worth 10.
So I've heard. So my girl tells me. Ah, Mr. Casillas. My sin has found me out. I am very low. Very low. But I hope equally repentant.
Spare us, sir.
No, Northmore. You must not say that. You forget that I may be called this very night before my Maker.
If that is true for you, it is true for all of us.
What of your yacht?
We must survive long enough for her return and then to Bermuda.
Well, it may be hard for you to believe, Mr. Casillas, indeed hard for anyone to believe. But I was once an honorable man, a private banker of considerable stature. All that remains of that stature, I fear, is my lovely Clara.
Well, if she's any indication, then it is considerable indeed.
And now you wonder how I came to fall so far.
I did not hear anyone ask the question.
I was a very bad boy, Mr. Casillas. My affairs became disordered, and I attempted dangerous expedients to retrieve myself from ruin. Consequently, I am in imminent, grave danger.
We are in grave danger.
So is it prison you run from?
Prison. Prison. Why, I would long for prison. I would not now be on the run if it were only the law I feared. No, I would still be in business in Matamoros. I assure you.
What business would that be?
And no need to tire yourself.
Discerning a man's loves from his hatreds, convincing him that one is a threat to the other, and then offering him a practical allegiance, blinded by fear and fueled by hatred. In such a state, trust is the fruit born of compassion, and riches the spoils.
So you are a swindler.
Boldly put, but savagely accurate. So you see, Mr. Cassilis, it is not the law I fear, but their retribution.
Whose retribution?
That of those who've been dogging us all the way from Mexico?
Please, I beg you, do not talk of them. They can hear every word. Listen.
It is the wind.
Praise God.
But remain vigilant. I fear these assassins are fast upon us, if not already on the island.
Well, I have slept in the nearby woods and I saw no evidence of anyone.
Well, they would not reveal themselves so readily. And do not flatter yourself, you were not here with us yet. Now you are.
Regardless, I will return to the beach to see if I can recover some of my gear, if you'll excuse me.
I would like to accompany you, Mr. Cassilis. My last draw was far from restorative. Father.
I will go with you.
No.
For Miss Huddleston's protection.
We must not leave the security of these walls. Those devils could be anywhere.
Sir, I will personally assure you your safety.
Huddleston, you may remain behind the barricades in safety as we venture out.
Leave me here alone. And how should I defend myself if the need arises?
For your protection. Don't hurt yourself. Allow me, Miss Huddleston. And this time, watch your step.
And you yours, sir. For now, you walk for both of us.
Do you hear that, Frank? What great responsibility bears down upon me?
May you rise to the occasion.
Oh, yes. Wait! Wait for me, my dears.
Father, you should remain prone.
Well, I could not bear to be alone, daughter. As always, my peace of mind thrives only in your gentle presence. And of course, in Mr. Northmore's stoic guardianship, so naturally complemented by our newest addition, Mr. Cassilis. Northmore, you do me the good service of assisting me.
A penny for your thoughts, Mr. Cassilis.
Simply reviewing my unfinished work.
You must be eager to return to it. Have you been about it long?
About 6 months or so. I left Washington just after the war ended.
I would imagine such solitary work an excellent balm for harsh memories inflicted by the war.
Well, I was employed as a tactical correspondent for the War Department. Whatever memories I have were inflicted mostly by observation.
Then I should be doubly grateful for your assistance to me earlier. To shake a voyeur into action against his nature is a coup of sorts, is it not? Or have I gone too far?
In the asking or in presuming my nature, Miss Huddleston? Suffice it to say that I interfere with no one, and I wish none to interfere with me. All that I leave to those who are so eagerly involved in the art of manufacturing and escaping quarrels that are no longer of my concern.
How sensible of you, Mr. Cassilis. And so safe. What are you doing there, Father?
I was
He was showing me where you two met. It seems you may have a rival, Northmore. Hmm? But I trust you young people will work it out. Oh. Oh, look. Look there. Look!
Do you recognize him?
No. But this does not bode well.
We must return to the safety of the pavilion.
Yes.
Yes, Clara, hurry.
Grab an end.
The quicksand flow.
We are safe within the bosom of this our fortress. Promise me we will never be so cavalier again, my dears.
I fear the luxury of provocative acts is beyond us. From now until the Red Arrow's return, we leave only when absolutely necessary.
Yes, now that we've seen their ghoulish handiwork washed up only yards from our door.
I'm sure that poor sailor fell victim to the same storm that almost did me in.
You think it an accident, his death? A mere coincidence, his being here?
Yes, I do.
Foolish boy, you are much too glib. Nothing so ominous could be just pure coincidence.
Well, if the danger is so great, then
It is, mark me, it is.
Well, you're most likely right, sir. You have much more experience in these matters than I do.
Very coy, your arrival here, Mr. Cassilis. Severe, captivated by a storm, and slung against this particular place at this particular time. Who are you really, Mr. Cassilis?
Old friend, old man.
Old friend? Or old foe?
You must forgive Huddleston, Frank. Fears further corroded his brain. As you see, his manners are already gone. Imagine being suspicious of your arrival. I take it as a blessing.
I am suddenly tired.
Then sleep, Frank. I shall stand the first night's watch, and Miss Huddleston will show you where to bed tonight. Won't you, my dear?
Come, Mr. Cassilis.
An irresistible offer indeed, Mr. Cassilis.
Good Christ, Huddleston.
Pleasant dreams, Mr. Cassilis.
And you, sir.
I think the couch for you, Mr. Cassilis. It will at least be as comfortable as the woods. What are you doing here? Hmm? What has brought you to this place now?
I believe I've already told you my work. The storm.
Yes. The timing of your arrival is anything but hapless, sir.
You ask a lot of questions, Miss Huddleston.
For a woman. We all have our roles to play, sir. I respect that. But when danger lurks, security requires knowledge of what lies behind the mask.
Well, I can assure you there is no danger with me, Miss Huddleston.
My father has made many enemies, Mr. Cassilis. I simply wish to know if you have imported your own special variety.
I'm not quite sure I follow. But I will offer this warning. Beware in whom you place your trust.
Are you speaking of my father? Or Mr. Northmore? Or yourself?
Suffice it to say that you would not be the first young woman to vanish from this island.
Really? Do tell.
Ask Northmore.
What is it that Mr. Northmore knows that you do not?
If I were you, I would separate myself from him as soon as possible.
My future is with him. Choice is something that has not been afforded me, Mr. Casillas.
Trust me, your life may depend upon it. Good night, Miss Huddleston.
Good night, Mr. Casillas.
When you failed your mission 6 years ago.
I know what happened 6 years ago.
Protect with your life. Our cause could depend upon it.
Yes. They'll be safe for me.
Mighty good shoot, Mr. Casillas.
Thank you, Robert.
That is high praise indeed, Frank. Robert bags more bird with less fuss than anyone in the county.
So I'll be going to get this ready for supper, sir.
Thank you, Robert.
It's quite impressive.
Yes, he is. When you and I were up north at West Point, he was down here with my late father getting an altogether different education. Consequently, I can't run the plantation without him. I'm surprised you finally came, Frank.
Well, I've always wanted to see your glorious South. And with hostilities looming, I thought this might be my last opportunity.
Yes, war.
Will you be returning north?
My obligations are here, at least until my father's affairs are settled.
Settle them quickly, Philip.
But the waters are quite navigable. I tell you, Frank, sometimes when there's a stiff breeze blowing, I find myself thinking I should just sail away. Aggie! Frank, this is Aggie. Aggie, I'd like you to meet Mr. Casillas.
Hello, Aggie. Looks like you've brought us just about everything a body could desire.
Where's Robert?
Down to the boat, unloading oysters and such. About across from the big house.
Good.
Mr. Huddleston came across with us.
Oh.
Another house guest?
Unfortunately, Mr. Huddleston has chosen this time to conduct some business or other on the island. Fortunately, it is not up to us to entertain him.
I take it he is not a friend of yours.
I dislike the man in the extreme. But his close political associations with my late father have ensured his free access to the island. But enough of him. Mary? This is Mary, Robert's sister. Mary, I'd like you to meet my very good friend, Mr. Frank Casillas.
How do you do, Mr. Casillas?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mary.
Have you ever seen anything so lovely in all your days, Frank? See that? You hold that just like that. That's right. Put a little pressure on it. I think that'll be just fine. Aggie, I think we can excuse Mary for right now, don't you think? Frank and I can help you prepare dinner.
I have Aggie with supper, sir. You get yourself together. And when you feels right, you go pick us some greens.
What are you looking at? Is there something you'd like to tell me? What are you looking at? You may go, Mary. Frank, perhaps we should get out from underfoot. Frank? There you are. Drink before supper?
Love to.
Enjoy your walk.
Supper will be served in a moment.
Mary, stay a moment. I have something I want to show you. Frank, we have the honor of being in attendance upon Mary's birthday.
birthday, Mary.
Thank you, sir. How did you know?
Because I wish to know everything that concerns you, my dear. And though it may fall short of your loveliness, I would be honored if you would accept this humble token on this very special day. Belonged to my mother. She made me promise to save it for someone. Well, happy birthday, Mary. Mary, promise me you'll never remove it. Consisted of this pavilion and this island. She is wonderful, isn't she, Frank?
She's a negress.
And what if she is?
It's just not right, my friend.
Is this the armchair abolitionist I knew in New York speaking?
Philip, you own her.
Yeah, an unpleasant twist of fate.
A fate which she has no choice in. Don't you see? The girl is in your power.
And I shall decide how best to use that power.
To what extent? By endangering her very existence because of your whimsical desire?
You know not of what you speak. Whimsy is not in my nature. But if it were, I would damn well challenge you or any other creature on this planet to stop me from pursuing my course.
As you wish, Philip.
Frank.
really are a voyeur, aren't you?
Your father's dressing gown does become you.
And what else do you see?
I see a troubled courtship. Dubious passion. Perhaps you can enlighten me.
Well, the courtship is in exchange for our security.
With Northmore? You have an odd sense of security.
I told you, my future lies here. I have no choice.
Your future is where you make it, Clara.
Is it? In my experience, the future is something that collides into one. And if one is left standing, there is some small hope that one can benefit from it. However, I think you understand that well, Mr. Casillas.
Evidenced by you and your father's bargain with Northmore.
Well, you have the luxury of being a man, sir. Besides, the bargain was my idea.
There is a name for that.
Yes. Survival. My father and I were in dire straits in Mexico. Northmore protected us. My father has shrewdly kept me close, Mr. Casillas. He removed me from the world by thoughts and actions that I would not care to mention. The consequences of which have forged a brutal link between us.
Meaning?
His pain is my pain. His fear, my fear. His shame, my shame.
Clara, there are things you should know about Northmore. About his past.
Oh, I know more than you would imagine. Northmore and I have an understanding. However, my desires lie elsewhere.
You truly are bloodless. Real passion would shatter you.
You talk of passion? A man who would leave a beautiful young woman at the devices of a desperate man. Don't make the same mistake twice. Bloodless? You had the courage to save my life once.
Make a fire, Frank.
Where's Aggie? I need her.
Isn't she in the pavilion?
No.
Well, then perhaps she's outside doing the wash.
No, she's gone.
When was the last time Claire saw her?
I don't know, Frank. Why don't you ask her? She seems to be taking quite a liking to you.
Oh, my God. It's Aggie's scarf. Forgive the service, gentlemen, but with our loss of Aggie... Well...
Gentlemen. Please.
Oh, an excellent Brandy Mouton. Wide is the gate, and broad the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be that go in there. I know the truth of that, Mr. Cassilis. And so should you.
Well, I do, sir. But I've also come to understand that what may be coarse and destructive to one man may be a blessing to another.
For instance, Frank.
For instance? The killer may come to see death as a necessity, even a relief when his victim is hushed forever, when he can continue about his way unencumbered.
Yes, yes. I understand you exactly. When my dear wife died, God bless her dull little soul, I felt a weight like the weight of the world lifted. Were it not for the sadness I felt for my motherless child, I might have danced a jig. Am I being too bold?
No, sir, you are simply speaking your heart. You are obviously a man of truth, and like myself, you do not live by the rules of others. If you don't mind me saying, sir, you're more suited to a life of adventure and whimsy than to be kept locked in the small corner of someone else's world.
You know, I thought you might. For I was once very much like you, Mr. Cassilis. When I was young, I thought youth was the time to go flashing back and forth across the world. Both in mind and body. Try manners of various nations. Hear the chimes at midnight. Circumnavigate the metaphysics. Write halting verses. And run a mile to ruffle a petticoat. What was that?
Perhaps it was a branch.
A branch be damned.
I don't see anyone. There's no one there?
Oh. Sweet Mary.
What did you tell him?
Be seated.
I told him nothing. Mary is your own private purgatory.
What would you know of it? When you abandoned me, left me to rot, you know nothing.
I know I saw that poor girl run out into the night. And for 6 years, I have wondered what it was you might have done to her.
You cannot imagine. You couldn't even begin to understand.
No, for certain, your depraved fancy is beyond my reckoning.
Depraved? Is that what I am?
What other word do you have for a man who ravaged...
I did not ravage her, Frank.
What would you call it?
I told her I loved her.
Yes. Yes, we should be charmed by the fact that love brought us here.
Loved her. You owned her.
How can you say that, Frank? How can you say that? You were here that night 6 years ago in this very house when I gave her the pendant. The pendant that my mother gave me and told me to only give to my bride, Frank. Yes. Yes, Frank, I loved her. And she wanted to marry me.
What choice did she have? Marriage to you or slavery? You owned her.
Enough! Enough.
I took matrimony at its lowest. A sort of friendship recognized by the police.
The door.
does it say?
It says, it's in Spanish. The gold or death? What gold?
Clara, upstairs. You'll be safer. Go on.
Quickly. Quickly, Clara.
What gold?
I have told you already.
You've told me nothing. Who are they?
They are the Juaristas.
The band of Mexican revolutionaries fighting under Juarez in Mexico.
He stole their money and then gambled it away on Confederate stocks.
Yes, well, it was to finance their revolution in Sonora. What was it, says? No, I can't remember.
Either way, the revolution's off, another after him.
He further compounded his misfortunes by selling them 3,000 muskets that blew up in their faces.
They were all I had.
Where's the gold?
I assure you, I traveled here with not a penny of their funds.
He has it hidden on the island.
Northmore!
And he's refused to give up the location until the Red Earl returns.
Mr. Huddleston, if you don't tell us where the gold is, we're all gonna die.
No, it does not belong to them.
Huddleston, I promise you, if you make us suffer because you refuse to give up that gold, you shall be the first to die.
Come, Northmore, are you really going to shoot me?
Think what you do, man.
Father, give them the gold.
Dearest, please.
Give Northmore the gold.
Thank you, sir. There is something you should know about the location of the gold, Mr. Northmore. It is a rather sensitive issue.
Come on, give a hand. Come on.
Thank you, Father. Well, Huddleston, business must have been good.
Gold, is that all there is?
Is that all there is? Look at this. I'm not sure I'm in complete possession of my faculties.
Clara, take your father back inside the pavilion.
Right done.
Maybe we should make a stand for it after all.
Lend a hand. Come on.
I feel the devil himself is lurking in these days.
Faith, my friend, faith in the Almighty.
You've been spending too much time with Huddleston.
He's the only person worth talking to on this godforsaken
I
island.
tell you, the evils of this island's past are here to visit upon it.
And evils that are with us are of your own making.
Frank and his three misses. Misconstrue, misunderstand, and misjudge. A regular harem of peevishness. Here. There's no one here.
Trust me, there are 100 eyes upon us.
Gentlemen, we are here to arrange the quarrel!
Philip, you're going to draw fire, man. Come on.
If ordered us dead, we'd be dead already.
You're not even speaking their language.
Oh, sorry, Frank, I didn't have time to learn their language.
Gentlemen, the gold!
Quiet, man.
The chest, it's gone.
gold. Did you see them?
We've given them what they want. Perhaps they'll leave us alone now.
Is there nothing more that we can do?
We can take no chances. We must strengthen the barricades.
Was never found with her body.
Thieves, you refuse to give.
Clara, I do not refuse. It's a simple fact. There is no clear answer. This is what I've been saying. I haven't.
Sir, I don't mean to disturb you.
An elixir vitae, I assure you. It has greatly extended my life, a medical marvel. Do come in, Mr. Cassilis.
Is there anything I can get for you, sir?
My gold, sir. What of my gold, sir?
It's been retrieved. Perhaps now they will leave us in peace.
Splendid.
Or not.
Northmore promised me it would ensure my safety. Otherwise, he had no right. No right.
Well, sir, the unfortunate reality is that if it were not for your daughter, the bastard probably would have killed you by now.
You cannot mean Northmore.
Sir, the truth is that when you gave up your gold, you gave up your security. Now the only thing standing between Northmore and Clara is you. And, sir, Northmore is a ruthless man. I fear it is only a matter of time.
Yes, I see what you mean. How foolish of me not to have seen it before. I am reminded of his lack of character in the past.
So, what shall we do, sir?
Take no chances, for one thing.
Ah, yes. Yes. But that alone will not prevent Northmore from pursuing his course of action. Especially since I overheard him suggest that you have something far more precious than gold in your possession.
No.
Yes.
I suspected he knew more than he was letting on. Scoundrel! I need your help. Will you give it, Mr. Cassilis?
I'm already your ally, sir, and that we have like minds concerning our host. However, if I am to entwine myself with your present fate to a greater degree than mere decency dictates, I must know what gains the future has in store for me.
Oh, well said. You are truly a man after my own heart, Mr. Cassilis. I would not trust you if you were anything more. Kneel down beside me here. Go on. Now slip your hand underneath the bed. And feel along the floorboard closest to the wall. Push it. Lift it up. Now reach inside. You feel them, don't you? Something metal? Ah, something metal. Gold, silver, or something more. Well, come along, lad, come along. Bring them out of the place where they've slept for these past 6 years. Yes. Something more, I think. Not the coin, the sacred stream, but the very fountainhead itself. Treasury plates, my boy. Treasury plates. You hold in your hand the key to unlimited wealth. My God. But how did... Certain tales should be taken to the grave. Let us just say that in the arc of my life, I have saved the best for last. And I shall have a last laugh.
Does anyone else?
No, and they must not.
Not even Clara?
Not yet. For her own safety, of course.
Of course.
Only you, partner.
We're rich.
Yes. If we can get ourselves and these plates off this wretched island.
I will see to that.
I thought you might. Pity if Northmore were not so fortunate. Poor Clara would be devastated. And so alone.
Yes, I'm sure. As your partner, perhaps I should take one of these to relieve you of half the burden, as it were.
Insure against my possible treachery, I mean?
No, sir, that is not what I meant.
Of the two of us, who has the most to fear? I am a bedridden old man who has given his secret to a young, vital, ambitious ally. An ally who understands, I hope, that we must go through this together or not at all. No, I will keep them safe, as I have done. I do not think you need fear my running away, eh?
Mr. Casillas, Northmore requires your presence. Downstairs. At once. I see my father has bewitched you.
I am not easily bewitched.
Well, as someone once told me, beware in whom you place your trust.
That's sound advice. But apparently it fell on deaf ears.
Not too deaf to hear the bias therein.
He murdered a slave girl, Clara.
There is no proof of that. He still grieves.
As your father grieves for his gold.
Thirsty, Frank?
I'll see to father.
Perhaps a little liquid fortification? Another, Frank? To marry.
May the good Lord have mercy on your soul.
Yes, Frank. Because I am a killer. Clara.
Come, Huddleston! Come! 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 Huddleston, down here for the Maddie! Go get your medicine!
Come with me. Come with me. Let me help you.
Help her? Help me! Hold, sir! Do not be fooled by her. She is greedy. She will seduce you too.
Oh, you have shamed me last time. You were wretched. You were vile. No one can save you now. You will die painfully, horribly, and I am glad of it. Oh, die, Father. Die, die, if only that I may watch.
Clara! Help her!
Clara.
Huddle's dead!
Come, Clara, here. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me.
Come on!
Clara!
No!
Clara! Clara! No! Frank!
Huddle's dead!
Father! Father!
This house will haunt me no longer.
Huddle's dead!
Got to him.
Must go, Clara. Must go now. Go, Clara! We have to go. You too, Clara? Finish it, Frank! Finish it!
¡Viva Juárez! ¡Muerte a los traidores!
Yo me quedo con la hembra.
What is it like to be all alone at sea?
You feel absolutely free
To do what?
to choose.
To keep on running.
Or to stop. Have you ever been able to look forward without looking away? To be unafraid? Have you ever been able to trust?
No. The riddle.
Wait here.
Come to see me off, Frank? Drop it. Drop it, or I'll put a bullet through your skull. Move. Move! This is far enough. No thanks. She has made her choice.
Capitán, solamente usted.
Sí, pues solo.
You've been in league with him the entire time.
Theirs is an honorable cause.
I misjudged you, my friend.
God be with you, friend.
And you.
Oh, yes.
My father said you would know what to do with these. The pendant. It was you.
Those belong to me.